Immigration and borders. When a person advocates national tribalism, they continue the superstitions it's based on, which is to say that all people are the same, and even further, that it is justified to coerce a person for what they will possibly do instead of what they'll probably do, based from a correlation instead of a causation. In concept, this is as intellectually vapid as persecuting for a hate crime. It isn't even guilt by association, but instead guilt by birth. This guilt by birth becomes grounds for you to perform eugenics without even taking into account the benefit of a particular. We already know how common it is for human beings to breed animals in a way which is dysfunctional. It usually ends up having an aesthetic or ideological modification, which often fails functionally in other areas. That a human is a perceiving being, that is, it is not actually understanding the world around it, only extracting patterns to react and act on, makes it incapable of generating functional optimization outside of a closed environment, or a different environment which allows the change to be beneficial. Imagine roads, a constructed environment, and cars, the particular change. Not only do the most nuanced arguments against open immigration base their arguments on winning a battle to make a new war, but also assume an engineered environment will create an optimized civilization, neglecting that this engineering is being performed to uphold a cartel on territorial use and possession of force, which makes the environment closed to competition, which allows it to be conducive to dysfunction. Furthermore, this gain for me, screw the future generations, which I assume permeates the ideas used by many of these advocates, is a prime example of why there's a danger in giving power to stupid sociopaths. A smart sociopath would not have interest in this area, as they would see that even their self is simply an abstraction they created, which also has no inherent value over others. Only that it becomes in the interest of each individual to value their own gain and survival, so resources are not wasted by others to do the same for themselves. The end result is smart sociopaths want to cultivate a more mutually beneficial world because they will be able to get more pleasure out of it. In this way, projection of the self onto others has become a natural trick for the less intelligent of us humans to give us a beneficial behavior to the collective without the need for understanding how it is beneficial to ourselves. With that laid out, artificial selection of benefits based on race instead of action clearly and blanketly lacks merit. It is wasteful as methods to protect oneself from others from undesired actions is actually easier and tactically advantageous to guarding a border. This border guarding, if successful, is going to waste resources and create an environment conducive to where the Mexicans who endorse the Latin American cartels will have an even greater advantage because the recourse of leaving the geographic areas they control will be removed. It will create a self-fulfilling prophecy where Mexico and the Central Americas will become more of a problem and a hazard to the United States until the USA will eventually need to invasively attack and then occupy several Central American states just to keep them from fucking with the USA. Do you think this will reduce the amount you're extorted by your protector?